Animals in our world. Have you ever wondered about how many types of animals there are and what makes them so special? In our world, there are millions of different types of animals that roam our earth, but there are certain things that make them very special and unique from each other. Here are some vocabulary terms that you will learn throughout this story. Mammals, reptiles, amphibians and birds, and finally, fish. Each of these types of animals has their own very special qualities that makes each of them unique. Listen as we go through each of them to see if you can remember what makes our animal friends special from all the other animals. The first animal friend that we will be talking about is Freddy Fish. Although Freddy Fish lives in water, that is not what makes him unique as a fish. What makes him unique is that he has gills and special lungs that he uses to breathe underwater. This makes it so he cannot drown like you or I. He also has fins on his body instead of arms or legs to help him move through the water. Examples of some more animals that are in the same category as Freddy Fish are Sally Shark, Betty Bass, and Roger Regaltang. Now we are going to be introduced to Bella Bird. All birds have wings like Bella, but some cannot fly like penguins. But that is not what makes them unique. There are many different types of birds in the world. Penguins, raptors, and cranes are just a few examples. What makes all birds like Bella especially unique is that they all have feathers. No other animal has feathers except for animals that are birds. Birds can lay eggs, but other animals can also do this, and they are not the only ones. This leads us on to the next animal friend, who is called a reptile. Reptiles are under 4 different types or categories: alligators, turtles, lizards, and even snakes fall all under the same category of a reptile. Let me introduce you to another friend of ours, Tommy Turtle. What makes our friend Tommy Turtle so unique, do you ask? 2 things actually make him unique. One is the fact that all reptiles have scales on their bodies that are very hard and act like an armor for the reptile. These scales are not the same scales on a fish, but they are made up of a thing called keratin. This is the same stuff that horns are made up of on other animals, but with reptiles it is their skin to keep them safe. Also, all reptiles are cold-blooded. This means that their bodies do not stay at the same temperature all of the time. This means that if they are too cold, they need sunshine and warmth to get their bodies warm. If they are too hot, they need to find shade or a cooler spot to be so they can cool their bodies down. This leads us to another type of animal called an amphibian. Our animal friend Francine Frog is a type of amphibian. This is sometimes a difficult word to say, so I will break it down for you. Am-phib-e-n. Amphibians are a special type of animal because most of them go through some sort of a metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is a change in their bodies that make the animal go from one thing to something completely different. For example, frogs begin as eggs, then hatch, and are tadpoles with gills. As they grow, they become froglets or young frogs that grow 4 legs and their tadpole tails shrink. After the froglet loses its tail completely, it is now considered a frog. This is exactly what happened to Francine Frog when she was growing up. It is amazing how that happens. Metamorphosis is one unique fact about what makes an amphibian, but also all amphibians have gills at one point in their life, or they keep them forever. Finally, the most well-known type of animal that we have in our world is a mammal. Mammals can be bears, dolphins, rhinoceroses, and monkeys. Our friend here, Ruby Rhinoceros, is just one example of a mammal. What makes mammals so unique is that they, like Ruby, all have hair on their bodies, even dolphins. Also, all mammals drink milk from their mothers when they are young. A fun fact about mammals is that although bats have wings, they are the only mammals that have wings. Let's review what we learned about the 5 main types of animals. Fish are the only animals that have gills and fins that need water to survive, just like Freddy Fish. Birds, like Bella Bird, are the only animals that have feathers on their bodies. Reptiles are cold-blooded, and they also have scales all over their bodies made of keratin, just like Tommy Turtle. Amphibians go through metamorphosis, and they also have gills at one point in their lives. Francine Frog is a great example of this. Finally, mammals are the only animals that have hair on their bodies, and their babies drink milk from their mothers just like Ruby Rhinoceros.